So, Halloween is right around the corner with being the whole 23 days away, and you're asking yourself, I want to attend Fright Fest, but which park should I go to? Well, today we're going to cover which park is the better park, Six Flags Over Texas or Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Let's do it. So since September, we actually went to the opening of Fright Fest at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and then a couple of weeks later, we turned around and went to Six Flags Over Texas. We took baby Asher and we took his little brother there, so that way we could get the full experience with people that haven't been there. Um, we spent a day and a half there at Six Flags Over Texas, and we're going back to Six Flags Fiesta Texas next weekend. Um, so we're going to pretty much break down everything that has to do with both of these parts. We're going to look at pros, cons, um, what their overall gist of it. Pretty much which one where we had the most fun, where we felt like we were running out of time, where there's much to do. Was there what was the whole thing with it? We're going to get straight into it. Um, First weekend, opening weekend at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, there was a lot going on that Friday night. There was a fireworks show, but I'm really not going to base anything off of them having a fireworks show because over Texas just doesn't have the technology. So we're not going to do any of that. But anyway, the scare zones at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. The thing that really stood out to me was the awakening. We didn't actually see it Friday. The park opened at 5 p.m. on Friday, so we didn't actually get to do anything until we got there and we started riding rides at a couple of haunted houses here and there. We really wasn't aiming to try to do any of the Fright Fest stuff, but it was kind of like on the way to rides, we would kind of participate. It was really, really cool. And then we came back the next day, was like, hey, we should do all the Fright Fest stuff today. It's just like, everybody's like, yeah, okay. So that's what we did. Um, but when we went and watched The Awakening Saturday, it really kind of made it all come together, so to speak, because The Awakening is a ceremony where the park kind of transforms from Six Flags Fiesta Texas to Six Flags Fiesta Texas Fright Fest. There's a little ceremony with Dr. Diabolical, and I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can go check it out. I made a video on it. Um, it's She comes out and she's creating monsters, trying to, create monsters to feed off human fear type of thing. And then at the end of the show, all the scare actors come out and they disperse to their own ways. It's their way of, transforming the park, which I thought was really, really cool. Last year, did not have it because of, I can't say the special word that starts with a C that ends with the two numbers 19. But you guys get what I'm saying. Hollow Fest last year, because of what was going on, couldn't really have it. Six Flags Over Texas does not have an awakening. I'm not sure why they don't. They have the ability to throw one. So I'm not exactly 100% sure as to why, but they don't. And I believe that really hurts the park, not having that, because nobody really gets to see. You hear them talking about chills by day, thrills by night, but you've got no middle ground there. So Six Flags Fiesta Texas has the upper hand on that because they have that kind of show that is kind of solidified to Fright Fest. Um, let's talk about the scare zones and the scare actors. The one thing that I noticed right off the bat when we made a trip over Texas this past weekend is the lack of scare actors. And there were some scare actors out walking around in some of the scare zones, but these scare actors they were good and they were well thought out and they were playing their part very, very well. But the one thing that I can say about Over Texas versus Fiesta Texas, um, there was a toddler at Fiesta Texas that got scared because one of the actors, you know, I'm not sure if he was purposely trying to scare the little guy. I mean, he was teeny tiny, about Asher's age, and he just started screaming and crying. And then the scare actor broke his character, went over there to kind of give the guy a high five. This doesn't apply at Over Texas. I have noticed that at Over Texas, when they see babies, they tend to just keep walking but ignore the babies. They might make eye contact with them, but that's probably about as far as they'll go. So that's something that I really think Six Flags has done a really good job with, is not really trying to scare the teeny tiny babies. But teenage kids seems to have just too much fun. There are 3 scare zones at Six Flags Over Texas. There are twice as many at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. You've got 2 different mazes. You've got Infestation. You've got Soul Harvest. You've got the Wicked area, which is over there by the log ride, Bugs Bunny water ride. You've got the Steam Pumpkins over there by Daredevil Dive. I said Soul Harvest, and you've got, I mean, there's just so much. Like, if you're going into that park, there's kind of nowhere for you to go without running into a scare zone at Fiesta Texas. So Fiesta Texas did a very good job of putting together their scare zones. And when we went, it was opening weekend, so there wasn't really everything that was there. It was opening weekend, so it was kind of like the bare minimum type of thing. But since then, they have been adding different things to the park, different props to the park, different photo ops, more scare actors, more this, more that. They still have the fireworks show. They do that on the weekends. So Fiesta Texas just went above and beyond when it comes to the scare zones. And I feel like the scare zones were a really, really big deal, because it's what really grabbed most of the attention of the people was the scare zones. And the reason why scare zones are so important at an event like Fright Fest is because there are 2 groups of people that go to Six Flags Fright Fest. There's just one group of people that go there because they like Halloween stuff, and then there's a second group of people that go there because they like riding night rides, and this is a really good time for them to do that. So they don't really care about any of the Fright Fest stuff. What they care about is the people that do like the Fright Fest stuff doing that, so that way the lines are shorter. That gives them an opportunity to ride, whereas in the daytime, everyone was riding. That's how we were last year, because there wasn't a whole lot going on because everybody was behind barricades. There weren't any haunted houses or anything like that. So I feel like Fiesta Texas really did a good job, because the lines were really short for us and for anyone that was, riding, whether it was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We noticed that the lines were considerably shorter at night because there were less people waiting in line, more people having fun. At Over Texas, it was completely the opposite. People were walking through the scare zones to get to rides. They weren't, continuously walking through the scare zones, and the scare zones at Over Texas were so split up. Like, you had one scare zone by Runaway Mountain, and then there was a second scare zone directly past JB's Smokehouse, and then there wasn't an entire scare zone for like miles. So you're just walking and walking and walking, and you hope that you would run into one. The nearest scare zone is like either at the entrance of the park or probably over there close to Gotham, and that's a long way away to walk to the scare zones. And I understand that Six Flags Over Texas is spread apart, whereas Six Flags Fiesta Texas, everything is just kind of, bunched together. So, I mean, that might have something to do with it, but I just feel like that Over Texas didn't put a whole lot of thought into where they were going to put the scare zones. There wasn't as much fog at Over Texas as there is at Fiesta Texas. There's this saying that we say at Fiesta Texas that anytime the fog machine comes on, we say, "Hey, Jeffrey was here," because this man goes all out and crazy with his darn fog machines. He just ordered some new fog machines, so those are going to be up next week. Yeah, there just wasn't as much fog, and the fog was dissipating, and it was almost like it was no fog at all. So, and this is Ron's first year with Fright Fest with Over Texas, so we can't really hold him to a high expectations based on what was kind of thrown in his lap. He's just trying to do the best with what he has. So, again, Fiesta Texas has the better scare zones because they've got the better scare actors. If you want to get some really, really good scare actors and get some really good stuff going, I would definitely recommend the Mystic Acre Maze, which is in the water park at Fiesta Texas. The Soul Harvest area is probably the most traveled area because there is so much there. It's right there in that opening area, right by Boomerang and by the Flash Pass line. I would definitely recommend this, especially at night, because there is a variety of different actors there, and they do a really, really good job. And if your children seem to get scared, just try to get them to take a picture or give a high five. 99 times out of 100, they'll give them a high five and take a picture with them to make them feel better. So there is that. So I'm going to give this one a Fiesta Texas for the scare zones and scare actors because they did a great job. They have peoples in costumes, guys on stilts, big pumpkin head guy. They've got two different people on stilts walking around in Soul Harvest area. They've got one walking around in the Steam Pumpkin area. I mean, they just went all crazy about it. So this one, scare zones and actors go to Fiesta Texas easily. Next, let's go to haunted houses. Each park has 5 haunted houses. Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Six Flags Over Texas. The one thing that I did notice is that the Six Flags Fiesta Texas haunted houses, when we went on opening weekend, were pretty bland. I didn't get scared at any of them. We went to all 5. Not really scared of much. Definitely wasn't scared of clowns, so that wasn't really. The clown one I thought was really cool because you got to wear your little 3D glasses, and it kind of made you feel like you were doing mushrooms or something, because that's the way the floor and the walls looked. So it was really cool. But it lasted all of about 2 minutes or so, and then you were done. It's over there by Pandemonium. The other scare zones, the other haunted houses like Rock Kill High, I thought was really boring. The jump scares were kind of really, really predictable in there, and I couldn't record, but I didn't know that I couldn't record, so that's why I didn't upload it. The best one I've found was Slaughterhouse 5 over there by Iron Rattler. Seemed to be the best one. Didn't really get any jump scares there, but Megan seemed to jump like 5 or 6 times during that time. So that right there shows me that that was probably one of the better ones. As we went to all of them, and they were just kind of like, yeah, But it takes a lot to scare me, so it's kind of different for me. You guys might think something else. Let me know in the comments. Which one is your favorite haunted house at Over Texas or Fiesta Texas? Let me know in the comments. Six Flags Over Texas, I feel like they did a better job with their haunted houses than they did with their scare zones. There were 3 different haunted houses where we went in there, and we didn't really have any jump scares, but I feel like they put their effort and time more into the haunted houses than anything else. That's why the lines were so long, is because everyone knew that the haunted houses were really, really good. So I'm going to give this one up to Six Flags Over Texas easily. We don't really have to compare and contrast anymore about the pros and cons, because we pretty much know where this is going. Let's talk about food. Both parks have really good food when it comes to their events. They have some, event special foods. Like there was a sandwich at Big Jake's Barbecue where it had like smoked sausage, brisket, pulled pork, barbecue sauce, and stuff like that. And you pay like $2 for it with your meal plan. So that was really special. And then Fiesta Texas has I think both parks has the Fanta Fizz, where it's kind of like a candy corn shake. And then they've got like an orange fizz shake. So it's definitely really unique to what they have going on. So we're definitely going to be trying those out when we go down there next weekend. But definitely recommended. I can't really think of anything else much. I really don't want to include the fireworks in this because, like I said, Over Texas doesn't really do fireworks much because they don't really have the abilities that Fiesta Texas has had, where they project everything off the quarry wall, where they have that position. Well, man, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Which park is the better park? Six Flags Fiesta Texas definitely does Fright Fest a lot better than Six Flags Over Texas does. We had so much fun. We spent 3 days in one park. That is a lot. Spending 3 days in one park for us that's a big step because we usually only spend one. But yeah, it kept our attention for 3 whole days. So it was great, and it was a good opportunity, and it's the first time we'd been there in several months. So it was really, really great. And given the fact that we're taking my son and his sister there next weekend, shows just how good it is. Great time. We had a great time. Really enjoyed it. That's going to do it for us here, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys agree with the comment, if you guys agree with the results, let me know why you agree with me. If you disagree with the results and you think that it should be something else, also let me know in the comments. If you want to help the algorithm, go ahead and smash the like button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.